Coleus plant goes by the botanical name Scoop.
Hi everybody, I'm Michael. I'm a landscape architect and environmentalist, and today we're going to talk about how you can propagate your Coleus. So, you ready to dig in? Let's grow!
The Coleus plant goes by the botanical name Plectranthus scutellaeroides, and it is native to parts of tropical Asia, tropical Africa, and actually parts of even Australia. Our friends who have joined us from Asia, welcome. And I know that the common name that you all often use for the Coleus is Mayena, so it goes by those two common names. And they also have, besides the common names, there'll be the varieties or cultivars, which we have several here, and that we want to share with you. This is kind of a follow-up video that we have done for you. We've already done a video on how to care for the Coleus, and what we want to talk about today is how you can propagate your Coleus in Leca and have them as houseplants. Or you can even take your houseplant, propagate it, and install it in your garden if you live down here in South Florida from zones 9B down to 11. The three types of varieties that we have to talk to you about today is the glorious trusty rusty, ooh la la, the amazing redhead, this beautiful red velvety leaves, and the Florida sun. Sometimes they call this the Florida sun rose. And our Florida sun rose is a flowering maniac, much more so than our trusty rusty and redhead, that we've actually decided, oh, this is so pretty. Look at this, you all. Look at that flower. It's just beautiful. Just so pretty. We decided to put her out on our balcony because we have so many plants in our home, and today we're going to take a cutting and add her to our Leca collection. So what we're going to do next is we'll switch over and show you the process we have used to make all of these. This was our parent plant, as well as the redhead over here, and they populated all these other babies you have before you. We also have another trusty rusty in another room, but we just don't have room on the table. And there you can see some babies from mama here. But we even have more that we're going to create. These make great gifts because they grow quite quickly. They love growing in Leca, and I'll share more of that with you in a minute. But what we're going to do next is clear some table space, and we're going to talk about what we do to help propagate Coleus. Make sure you spray your hands down with hydrogen peroxide and your cutting utensils so you don't bring any pathogens into the plant. And you want to go between the nodes. There's a node here and a node here. We just do a little cut on an angle. And now we've got another cutting of the trusty rusty. I like to cut off a few of the base. I'm actually going to cut off this bend because we're not going to need that. It's just going to get in the way when we put her in water to root. I'm going to take some of this off, and we just place her in water like we did with the other ones. And in a few weeks, she'll have some roots. Sometimes your Coleus, depending on where you put them in your home, on the lighting, they typically want medium light, which means they want somewhere around 400 to 500 foot candles, or up to even to highlight, and you'll get brighter hues of some of the leaves. So the reds will come out. I'm going to drop this one down so you can see the reds will come out with some of that little bit of green on the edges, but they'll turn this beautiful velvety deep burgundy red over time. And Coleuses do have this tendency to get leggy. This mama over here that gave the other babies is a little bit leggy, and we're probably gonna cut her as well. Might as well do it now while we have you, because we want to have a nice bushy plant. So we're gonna cut her between the two nodes here, and just do the same thing we did with the trusty rusty. Trim off, oops, these lower leaves. I'm actually going to get these little guys too. Place her in water. And now we'll have another one in a few weeks. Ooh la la. Ooh la la, you all. And I'm going to lean the redhead towards you, and you can see how we've made other cuttings in the past. This will start to fill out and get more bushy, so you get a nice full plant. One thing you need to know, you got to give yourself a little bit of room because they love growing in Leca, and they will fill out very nicely if you trim them back. You can also trim the heads from the flower when the flowers start to erupt to encourage more leaf growth if you don't want to see those flowers. But we think those flowers are just beautiful, so we like to see them. Just to recap, let's take a cutting, cut off some of the lower leaves, place her in some water, some water that sat out at least 24 hours so you don't have any chlorine in it, and then watch for those roots to develop in 2 weeks to a month, depending on your plant, and you can keep her in an area of your home that's just getting some medium light. We'd like you to put this inside another opaque container so you don't encourage algae growth. And the determining factor on when you move your plant from water into Leca is to see if it has at least 2 inches of new root growth. And when you have that, you're ready to transfer into Leca. So let's go on to that step. To replant your Coleus grown in water into Leca couldn't be simpler. All you have to do is just take your rooted cutting, which you can see, look at all those beautiful roots, out of the water, and gauge how far the roots are erupting off the side of the stem so you can get an idea of how much Leca you need to put at the base. This has a lot of roots that are going a few inches down, so we're going to put just a little bit of Leca at the base, and then we're going to fill around her. And I believe the same thing is happening for this cutie pie with all her roots. They both have the same amount, several inches of roots that have grown off the side of the stem. So you just simply take your fresh Leca that you have rinsed several times, and when you do get Leca when you buy it, it can be very dusty, so you have to wash it out a few times. And I believe we've done some videos to that effect that you can check on our channel. So what we're going to do is just fill up about 1 inch of the Leca at the base of the container here. This is the net container. And I'm going to set her back into this thing so it'll be easier for me to place these little ladies. And I'm going to start with her on this side. And you want to be careful adding Leca to the roots. You don't want to bang up against them, so you want to kind of just drop it in the center off to the side and then add. So actually she's slipping, but I'm going to get her position. Just give me a second. There we go. I'm going to let her sit there for the side. Now we're going to pick up her twin, place her over here on the other side, right there between some Leca, and then we're just going to fill in. We're going to go almost all the way up to the top. Add some from the other side here. You can see some of the Leca going in. We're almost there, y'all. I'm gonna pull her off the side a little bit. Oopsie. Just a little bit of room off the side. And you want to cover all the areas that you see the roots that are showing. Pretty good. Sorry, let me turn her to this side. It'll be easier for me to add some more Leca. Finish this off. you all. I think we're getting there. We're getting so close. And I think we together have just repotted the redhead Coleus into Leca. So Mama has twin babies here that we're going to have another beautiful plant taking off in our home. Now, we haven't added the water yet, so what we're going to do is fill up this base of this outer container, which goes by the name cash po. A lot of people call it catch pot. There's several names for it. Outer container. We usually go to the bottom quarter, but because Coleus is has a voracious appetite after she grows, you're going to need to check this. Most people don't usually have to check their Leca for every 2 weeks on most plants, but our Coleus is when they get enormous, like the ones you saw in our intro. You need to check and see if she's drawing down that water. So this is all we really need to do for 2 weeks, is just to keep her like this, and then we'll check and see how she's doing, and we'll go and decide whether we want to do a flush or wait. Since this is brand new Leca and these are new roots, wait a month just so those roots get a chance to adapt through the Leca into the Leca, and then we'll do our first flush. So Leca, as you know, said it many times, Leca stands for light expanded clay aggregate. This is amazing stuff. It will pick up the water at the base and start to transmit that water from pebble to pebble, and that just sort of permeates through the semi-hydroponic medium here, and the many plants just dig that environment to grow in. So we've done the repotting. Okay, so we're going to go to the written care instructions, where we're going to go into everything for you, from the type of humidity your Coleus will do okay in, to watering them, how they like to be watered in soil, the soil type you want to use if you grow them in soil, as well as lighting and temperatures for your home that they'll do best in. All right, so let's go to that step, and then we'll come back and summarize at the end. We want to thank you for joining us today. Well, tonight we've gone over so much since filming started this afternoon. It's gone into evening. But anyways, if you have any questions about propagating in water, or transferring a rooted cutting into Leca, or growing your Coleus in your home, please just leave us a comment in the description box below, and I'll make sure I get back to you. Until next time, bye.
If you found value in this video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. We post weekly. Thanks.